We're going to be looking at some highlights from the eReadiness 2023 survey report, asking customers who either own electric vehicles, are thinking about buying electric vehicles, or are skeptical of electric vehicles, their thoughts. First and foremost, 30% of people surveyed said they intend on buying an electric vehicle in the next 2 years. This matters. Anyone want to remind me what percentage of all new vehicles sold today is electric? If the number's less than 30% globally, by the way it is, then believe it or not, enough consumers already intend on purchasing electric vehicles now that you don't need to tell them about electric vehicles. And by the time these 30% follow through and purchase, you know what's going to happen when 30% of all new vehicles sold were electric? You survey people again, this number is going to be a lot higher than 30%, and eventually we'll get all the way to 100%. It's kind of like the internet. You didn't need to advertise that. People just adopted it. At present, electric vehicle owners, 6% of those surveyed, are mainly high-income, middle-aged males living in city centres with access to private parking spaces. This obviously makes sense. At the moment, electric vehicles so far, if you already own one, you've probably paid more than the average new vehicle price in whatever country you've purchased your electric vehicle. But of EV prospects, which was 61% of the people responding, these folks tend to have around 20% less income than existing EV owners. And the report has joined the dots here. Of the 6 personas identified, tech enthusiasts, dreamers, and pragmatic are the 3 determined to have the greatest intention of buying electric vehicles and represent around 70% of demand in the next 2 years, suggesting that the electric vehicle market is shifting towards a mass market. Bingo. And of electric vehicle skeptics, which were 31% of the respondents, they're predominantly women with lower available income. Online vehicle sales represented 20% of electric vehicle sales, stunningly low figure, with 65% of consumers considering purchasing their next vehicle online. By the way, rest in peace to car dealerships. So, the key demographics here. Electric vehicle owners, existing owners, represented 6 people of responding. These are broken down by Asia Pacific, North America, Europe, Middle East, Africa. EV prospects, people who have declared their intention to buy an electric vehicle in the next 5 years. 62%. Did you hear that correct, ladies and gentlemen? 62% of the people responding, 62%, have declared their intention to buy an electric vehicle in the next 5 years. One more time, ready? 62% of the people surveyed intend on buying an electric vehicle in the next 5 years. Just 32% of people surveyed have declared their intention not to buy an electric vehicle in the next 5 years. And I'm sure many people listening will recall many people that they know claiming that they would never buy an iPhone or a smartphone or blah, 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 blah. A few years later, they changed their tune. So one more time, I know I'm labouring the point, but this is really important. 62% of people surveyed have declared they intend on buying an electric vehicle in the next 5 years. Approximately 2/3. Remember, the people with an electric vehicle, forget about they already own one. Of the remainder, bro, this matters. And as discussed, electric vehicle owners today, typically a little bit of a higher income, average age 43. EV prospects, almost identical age, lower income. And skeptics, meaningfully lower income versus prospects and owners, and a bit older. Now onto consumer viewpoints. First, from existing electric vehicle owners. I'm sure we're going to hear 99% of EV owners wish they didn't make that decision. It was a terrible idea and they'll go back to ICE, right? As I mentioned earlier, a shocking percentage of people bought an electric vehicle at a car dealership. Absolutely shocking. But as we heard, something like 60+% of people plan on buying online. Tesla, of course, paved the way for this model. And depending on region, somewhere close to 40 to 50% of people financing their vehicle purchase. If I didn't know any better, I would think that people would be very sensitive to interest rates if that was the case. Oh, and we ain't none there. We also got to add in the long-term rental contracts and subscriptions. These are all effectively financed. 65% of current electric vehicle owners would buy their next car online, driven by convenience, price, and a readily available vehicle. I still have to wonder about the 35% who prefer to go to a car dealership. Didn't realise there was that many people who like to suffer. Uh-oh, trigger alert. Word of mouth is the key trigger for EV consideration. The financial offer and driving experience are the fundamental factors for purchase. How did you begin to consider buying an electric vehicle? Consideration. Towering over everything else. Word of mouth at 42%. Now, this is very important. The 42% of people didn't see an ad extolling the virtues and the benefits, etc. of an electric vehicle, but instead heard from somebody they know via word of mouth. Learned the perks, the benefits by hearing it from a friend, family member, colleague, neighbor. Kind of like name your disruptive technology. Once again, this is very important. These are what we call facts, ladies and gentlemen, which don't care about your feelings. 42% of the people who purchased an electric vehicle, nearly half, named word of mouth as the reason they first considered purchasing an electric vehicle. Nearly half, okay? After first hearing from somebody they know and trust how amazing, affordable, etc. an electric vehicle is, what was the deciding factor that led you to actually buying the electric vehicle? 46% of people apparently have a brain. The overall price and the financial offer. In other words, they did the math, thought, oh geez, it's actually a lot cheaper to own and operate. Great value. In addition, 43% had a driving experience, either an official test drive or I drove a friend or family car. Once again, this is important. You might have heard me say in the past, the more Teslas Tesla sells, the more Teslas Tesla sells. This is exactly what the happens. 1, you hear from your friend, your neighbor, your colleague, bro, I just got this Tesla. It's sick. Let me show you. Next minute, they get a drive. Next minute, they're sold. The driving experience and lower operating costs are the main drivers of electric vehicle owner satisfaction, with charging still being an issue. And remember, Tesla's market share in the US, for example, around 50% now. In every other market, it's much lower than that. So when we hear about charging being an issue, what we're really hearing about is some charging for some electric vehicles is an issue. We hear that the main drivers of satisfaction for existing electric vehicle owners are the driving experience, lower operating costs, far and away in the lead there, easiness of charging, availability of parking spots, interesting, and lower maintenance costs. And remember, 42% of people who bought an electric vehicle first heard by word of mouth. These are the kind of things they're hearing by word of mouth. Great driving experience, lower operating costs, lower maintenance costs. Main issues people facing: long charging time, lack of public charging, limited range, lower performance in cold weather, blah, 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 blah. Again, most of this applies to non-Tesla vehicles specifically. People are going to get mad. Majority of EV owners purchased their car by leveraging public incentives, yet 89% would have bought an electric vehicle regardless. Trigger alert, as I've been saying for a long time, these incentives and mandates are useless and unnecessary, pissing away money for no reason. But of course, government misusing funds, wasting money, what's new? Electric vehicle owners showed high levels of interest in purchasing additional products and services, in particular, green energy contracts. Check this out. Green energy contract in the lead. Number 2, however, energy storage solutions. Wouldn't it be cool if you made electric vehicles and battery storage? Anyone know any companies that do that? I might buy some of their stock. Number 3, solar panels. Wait, solar panels? Does anyone know any companies that make electric vehicles, battery storage products and solar? Tell you what, I'd really like some of their stock. Look at that. Many of these customers will end up eventually buying home storage. In fact, some of the storage customers might end up buying their vehicles and vice versa. Ooh. And home insurance. Wow. That's interesting. Now, check this out. Which is a primary location where you charge your electric vehicle? At home, 58%. At my office or on the street, as in parked somewhere, 42%. Meaning, in APAC region, just 4% of people using public chargers. Guess what? Same for the next category. And in North America, 1%. Did you hear that? 1% of people, one more time, 1% of people in North America use public charging. 1%. That's it. They're now onto electric vehicle prospects who don't exist because there's not enough ads, and therefore nobody knows about or is thinking about buying electric vehicles in the next 5 years. Here are the different categories of people. The tech enthusiast, some concerned about the environment but not super caring. They have high technology and the confidence, being an early adopter, willing to pay extra to gain access to technologies, and combines the car with other means of transport. The dreamers, environment and climate change are top priorities. They're a digital native and feel comfortable with tech. They're willing to pay a higher price for a good cause. Now, the luxurious folks. Environment is among the lowest priorities, which, by the way, is a large portion of the respondents, in my opinion. Most people aren't buying an electric vehicle because it's great for the environment. It's a better economic decision. They buy mainstream technology, use basic functionalities. Price, not a concern. Now, pragmatic. Environment is crucial, but not worth the extra mile. They're a digital native. They feel comfortable with technology. They want good price to quality ratios. Now, the conventionalist, not particularly concerned about the environment, uses basic technology once it becomes popular. Ooh, you know what we're talking about. The next 50% of EV adopters right here. Saving is important, but you get what you pay for. And the frugal person, concerned about the environment, but not their top priority. Not addicted to tech, but use it to find opportunities. Very price conscious and always looking for bargains. These are going to be the later adopters. Shout out to Tesla's next gen vehicle. And now, tech enthusiasts, intention to buy an electric vehicle, 85%. Dreamers, 75%. Luxurious, 62%. Pragmatic, 62%. Conventionalist, 46%. And the tight asses, 25%. Obviously, because at this point in time, there are no $10,000, $15,000 electric vehicles available outside of China anyway. Makes sense. These are the same folks who balked at the idea of paying $1,000 for an iPhone, and now eventually, well, they all own them, don't they? One more time, ladies and gentlemen, by the way. Intention to buy an electric vehicle here. Insanely high numbers. Okay, remember, what you need to think about is, what is the percentage of all new vehicles sold today on Earth that are electric? Is it less than 85%, 75, 62, 62, 46, 25? Spoiler alert, yes, significantly less. In the next 5 years, Now, these people will be buying electric vehicles. But please tell me more about how we need to advertise the benefits and perks. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. Again, there's a lot of insight in this report, but I don't want this video to be 4 hours long. Now, onto the key considerations for the people who plan on buying an electric vehicle in the next 5 years. The top 3 drivers. Cost, far and away in the lead. Wait, what? People understand that electric vehicles are cheaper to own and operate? Somewhere between 63 to 72% of people having this as their number one reason for considering an electric vehicle and intending on purchasing one in the next 5 years. People already know. Nearly 3/4 of people already know. That's interesting. Convenience at nearly 45%. Possibility to recharge at home. Again, we heard earlier, especially in North America, 1% of people charging at public charges. Everywhere else, it's at home, at the office, etc. And the environment, roughly 1/3 of people. That's interesting, isn't it? Goes a little bit against the we need to advertise and educate consumers narrative, doesn't it? I mean, call me crazy, but 63%, 64%, 72% of people. EV prospects declared a significant interest in C segment and compact vehicles and SUVs with a consistent distribution across all regions. So, does anyone know what a C segment compact is? That's Tesla's next generation vehicle. More than half of people in every region intend on buying a vehicle that Tesla's next gen $25,000-ish vehicle will match. How curious. And regarding body types, SUV around 50%, sedan, a little bit less, hatchback, if you're lucky, 20-25%. You guys can see on screen, right? And now, 50 to 60% of EV prospects tend to expect their new electric vehicle will have a price point between 20 to 40,000 euros, just up just a tiny bit for US dollars. Interesting. You know where Tesla's next gen vehicle is going to start? Roughly around here, the tail end of this category. So everybody to the right of this, Tesla's next gen vehicle, completely suitable. Isn't that interesting? When choosing among different EV models, overall price, safety, and battery range are the key criteria. So let's think about Tesla for a moment here. Who has the best value electric vehicles? Spoiler alert, that would be Tesla. Who continues to pass on cost savings and reduce the price of their electric vehicles? That would be Tesla. And which of these considerations is far and away the most important to the average consumer who intends on buying an electric vehicle in the next 5 years? At 71%, that would be price, the thing that Tesla keeps reducing on their vehicles and sell. Isn't that weird? Yeah, it's weird. It's almost like all these people who intend on buying electric vehicles in the next 5 years will be looking at everything and looking at price and then going, oh wait, Tesla has the best price on their vehicles, so I'm going to buy a Tesla. But not everybody lists this as the number one criteria. Safety is number 2. Who has the safest vehicles ever tested on the planet? Someone remind me. Oh wait, that's also Tesla. And which company offers the best range on their vehicles, given the size of the battery pack, the most energy efficient? And we're not talking about high-end ultra-luxury vehicles here. We're talking about stuff that people can afford, as we saw earlier, the price points. That would also be Tesla. Which company has the best electric vehicle brand? Oh wait, you know what the answer is, don't you? It's Tesla. Now, to the next category. Who has the best infotainment and connectivity? Oh wait, that would also be Tesla. And now, look, it may be up for debate with design, possibly the driving experience and the after-sales support, but you know what? None of those are major factors. So let me just recap. Number 1, Tesla. 2, Tesla. 3, Tesla. 4, Tesla. 5, Tesla. Tesla ticks the boxes. Objectively wins on the top 5 considerations among all of the people, which is over 60%, who intend on purchasing an electric vehicle in the next 5 years. The most important factor, of course, being price. Interesting. Charging duration, range, and battery lifetime are the key barriers stopping EV prospects from purchasing an EV. Keep in mind, these people have said they intend on buying an electric vehicle in the next 5 years, so it's not like they're not going to buy one, but these are the reasons right now, the things that they most dislike about the idea of buying an electric vehicle, even though they said they intend on buying one in the next 5 years. So these are some pain points for companies, especially other than Tesla, to address. The charging duration. Range. Clearly, consumers don't know a huge amount about how well batteries last, and this is definitely a fair point. Spoiler alert. You might lose, worst case, over a lifetime of driving, 5-7 years of ownership, maybe worst case about 10% of your battery range, if that. Batteries are pretty good. 60% of EV prospects will consider it acceptable to have a 300 to 400 kilometre driving range and full charge their car in less than 30 minutes. In miles, that's about 186 to less than 250 miles of range. Would suit about 2/3 of people who intend on buying an electric vehicle in the next 5 years. You'll note that only 18% of respondents, which is all, claim that they want more than a 500 kilometre range, which is 310 miles. That's it. Just 18% want more than 310 miles of range. And now, onto the EV skeptics. Consumers who have declared their intention not to buy an electric vehicle in the next 5 years, which remember was a fraction of all respondents. The reasons that have discouraged them from buying an electric vehicle in the next 5 years? Long charging time, uncertainty about battery life, limited range, upfront higher costs. So it seems like the major concern here among most people is charging times and uncertainty about how long the battery will last over the lifetime of ownership. So I found this fascinating. And that honestly is a massive understatement. Just wanted to go back to the key insights page to recap some of the stuff we've learned. Okay, first of all, 30% of the people surveyed declared an intention, not a consideration, an intention, as in I will, to buy an electric vehicle in the next 2 years. 30% just in the next 2 years. And of these electric vehicle prospects, they typically have a lower income than current EV owners, meaning they're expecting prices to be lower and or they intend on paying less than people already have, which is a good reason for companies who produce electric vehicles to make them more affordable so they can sell them to these intentional buyers. Only 31% of people either currently do not own an electric vehicle or do not intend on purchasing an electric vehicle in the next 5 years. And believe me, 5 years from now, there won't still be 31% of people claiming they don't intend on buying an electric vehicle. And again, 62% of the people surveyed declared an intention to buy an electric vehicle in the next 5 years. This report, it turns out, is a gigantic manifestation of what I've been saying now on this channel for almost 4 years. This is a disruptive technology. Electric vehicles are inevitable. They are commercially inevitable. And as each new customer takes delivery of their electric vehicle, on average, they will tell at least one other person how fantastic it is, how economical it is, how much cheaper it is to own and operate, how much safer it is. Of them, some of them will actually give test drives or even let their friends and family drive their own vehicle. Next minute, you have multiple electric vehicle owners and the domino effect continues. We're seeing this in numbers, in facts, which don't care about your feelings. Remember, of the people who already own electric vehicles, 42%, their first consideration was via word of mouth. And then their reasons, the overall price, the value it offers, plus having a driving experience. Those are the main factors. Again, your neighbor gets a new Tesla. You don't know anything about them. Go, hey, I noticed you got a new one of those electric cars. What's it like? Next minute, they rant and rave because Tesla creates disciples. Again, the more Teslas Tesla sells, the more Teslas Tesla sells. We've seen the pipeline, what the future now looks like. Again, 62% of people surveyed declared their intention to buy an electric vehicle just in the next 5 years. And it was 30% in the next 2 years. And these numbers will not stay static. Do the same survey next year. Watch what happens to the numbers the year after. Watch what happens. My best guess is 2 years from now, when this survey is done, it'll be over 80% of people intend on buying an electric vehicle in the next 5 years. 2 years after that, it's going to be 90 to 100%, in my obnoxious opinion. So the long story short here, folks, is electric vehicles are happening. There's nothing you or anyone else can do about it. And the most important driving factor, price. So if you're a company who wanted to sell lots of electric vehicles, would it be fair to say that a winning strategy would be to drive the price of your vehicles as low as possible, as fast as possible? In addition, make them as safe as you can and sure they have great range, have a decent brand, and obviously infotainment and connectivity is important as well. I think it's safe to say that would be a winning strategy. So if anyone knows any companies with a winning strategy, given the fact that nearly 2/3 of people surveyed intend on buying an electric vehicle in the next 5 years. And today, electric vehicle sales represent a fraction of the market. Again, in this survey, only 6% of people surveyed own an electric vehicle. So that's a 10x increase in electric vehicle purchases, give or take, in the next 5 years. If anyone knows any companies that tick these major boxes, especially price and safety, I'd love to know because I might buy a little bit of their stock. It might be an opportunity. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks, click the links in the pinned comment. Athletic Greens AG1 has given me a massive, meaningful boost in energy, allowing me to do a lot more every day, including using my brain more and using my body more. I highly recommend you guys and girls check it out. Athletic Greens AG1 is an excellent way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's got 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus prebiotics and probiotics and digestive enzymes and adaptogens to help you deal with stress. Plus, if you click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, you can get yourself a 1-year free supply of vitamin D3 and K2. But don't take my word for it. Here's what some of you guys and girls have to say. AG1 has changed my life. I was, as you described, treating myself like a circus, ate like trash, rarely exercised, used alcohol as a stress crutch, cannabis also. AG1 is what gave me the kick in the ass, got me back to the gym, motivated me to do more for myself, family, my business, etc. Keep doing what you do. Now, I know there's some skeptics, the same kind of people who think Elon Musk is a fraud, reading this going, what do you thought? There's no way that's possible, bro. It must be a placebo effect. Believe it or not, this is a recurring theme. If you give your body everything it needs to feel and perform its best, including having a lot more energy, you'll need ways to use that energy. For me personally, that includes more exercise, moving my body more more social activity, and more cognitively demanding tasks, including producing a fuck ton of exclusive content over on Twitter and on Patreon, plus my daily YouTube uploads. The proof's in the pudding. On to another testimonial from a viewer of this channel. SMR, you asked me to provide feedback on AG1. Here it is. It has helped with mental acuity, stamina, and intestinal waste management. Can't read between the lines. It certainly helps with regularity and digestion. That's what the digestive enzymes are for. It has also dramatically reduced my cravings for sugar. You guys need to stop eating sugar. It's fucking poison. I'm 50, 5'9", and overweight, aka a fat motherfucker. I think that's a technical term for overweight, isn't it? Is it fat motherfucker or obese? I can't remember. I average 100 hours a week in the West Texas oil fields as a safety supervisor. Jesus Christ, dude. No wonder you're struggling to keep your weight under control. 100 hours a week. Brutal. It has helped me lose weight. It is not an appetite suppressant. It can help fat people suppress cravings, and motivation to be healthier is critical for changing your diet. Love you, brother. Again, this is a great point. It's something people really don't seem to grasp. If you have more energy, everything becomes easier. It's like turning on easy mode for life. A few years ago, before I was taking AG1, my health was trash. I was struggling to get through the day, had afternoon fatigue. The last thing I wanted to do was either use my brain or move my body. Didn't have the energy. Now, my biggest struggle every day is figuring out ways to use that energy. I'm exercising way more, doing a lot more with my friends and family, and of course, my work output has increased substantially. And you can fact check me. Check out the average length of my videos I was posting to YouTube 3 years ago. Need I say more? And one final testimonial. Love this one. Okay, here's the deal for me with this AG1 shit. I'm 41 years old and not the type to eat, drink, smoke, or sleep healthy, so I was skeptical. That being said, here's what I experienced. Day 1, meh. Day 2, afternoon fatigue was about 45 minutes late. Day 3, 0 afternoon fatigue. Day 4, 0 afternoon fatigue plus extra energy. Day 5, again, 0 afternoon fatigue plus energy, wondering, what the fuck, really? See, this is the thing, right? The results for many people are just almost too good to be true. This is the same experience I had. My afternoon fatigue just vanished out of nowhere. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Why am I not tired in the afternoons anymore? Surely, it's not that AG1 is it? Turns out it was. Day 6 and 7, same thing. Day 8, same thing. Plus, I had the want to get things done around the house that I normally would slack off and not get done. Again, the point, extra energy, you'll need to use it, you'll find ways to use it. Day 9, 10, and 11, and today is day 12. I fucking love it. So however you managed to get me to buy it, I'm so glad you did. Thank you so much, SMR. It really changed me so far. Guys, this shit really works. Just try it. By the way, this is the reason I continue to relentlessly promote AG1. A lot of people get real fucking mad in the comments. Oh my God, snake oil salmon sold out. Oh my God, he's a scammer. This is fraud. But constantly, I'm pretty sure everyone making these comments is also currently short Tesla stock. I'm not particularly concerned about people having a negative perception, those folks suffering from small brain syndrome, still living in my bum's basement syndrome, etc., writing mean comments, claiming AG1's a scam or it doesn't work. I mean, bro, when I get feedback like this is what keeps me going. And remember, there is a 90-day money-back guarantee. There's nothing to lose here. Just try this stuff for a month, and if you don't get these results, get your money back. See, it's a literal no-brainer. It's an IQ test at this point in time. Testimonial after testimonial after testimonial like this. Get your money back if it doesn't work. Just try it for a month, and if it doesn't work, get your money back. Today's the day. It's finally time. Be like this guy who was a massive skeptic, but finally, after 1,000 promotions in a row, caved in, tried AG1, and has results like this. Head to drinkag1.com/SMR or click the link at the pinned comment, and please, let me know how you're feeling in a few weeks' time. Now, if you'll excuse me, time to put my extra energy to good use. I'll be recording some more exclusive content for Patreon and my Twitter subscribers. So click the links in the pinned comment. See you over on Twitter and or Patreon, and don't forget to grab your AG1. Love ya.